now live on YouTube and on TikTok. And we are going to talk today about the new moon. Do you know what this is? Guess what this is? What do you think I'm going to be doing with this beauty right here? This is amethyst and quartz crystal. Why do I have this? Because we have a new moon in Sag and I want to manifest something. And the new moon is about manifesting. But this one is about manifesting your truth, manifesting your gifts, manifesting your philosophy, and manifesting your instinct. So what I want to manifest, and this is why, and I'm going to drink this tomorrow. I will put this out for the new moon, and I'll tell you exactly. I might put it out for tomorrow night as well, because tomorrow night is the act. I'm going to tell you exactly when the new moon is. Now, I want you to look at what the new moon means, okay? Think about this. The new moon is not bright. It's dark. We are seeing the shadow side of the moon in its darkness. You can't see the moon until after the new moon. You start to get this little sliver, not like the full moon, which is bright, and it shines a light through the shadow being on the opposite side. So the new moon indicates that through the darkness and the shadow, we have new beginnings, we have new birth, we have rebirth. And that literally is happening very, very late tonight and early morning. This is Friday, the 19th of December, 2025. And late tonight and early morning, we are going to feel the new moon. So I'm going to put this out so that I can get this amethyst, which is my third eye, and in psychic abilities, and I don't usually do two, and the quartz, which is going to accentuate that, because I want to ask for a new gift. I'm asking for a new spiritual gift that I started. I'm doing a full circle here, because when I first started with my gifts in my early mid-20s, I started off with wanting to be a medium and to talk to people on the other side. Now it's hit and miss because I don't practice it all the time. I practice my sidereal astrology, my downloads, the advice that I give people, how I help people manifest. And hello, CRB. And now I'm saying, you know what? I want to talk to people on the other side, because I want to help people. I want to help people understand that there is another side, that we do have people on the other side. And they're there. They're just past the veil, barely past the veil. Now, I practiced with a client today, and although it was so validating, she was a brand new client, very validating what came through and what was very important. And all of it had to do with her mother who had passed on. But what I wanted to see was to communicate with her mother directly. And I brought up there was three things that came to me, and I mentioned it to her, and none of it resonated with her. So for me, it's either I get it bang on, like it could not be more exact, or I get nothing at all. So I'm doing this, and I'm asking, because this is manifesting. A new moon is when we manifest. I want to manifest new psychic abilities where I can talk to people that have crossed over. Okay, what do I do right now? I talk to your soul. So what happens is there's two versions of your soul. One is attached to you, the human self, and the other one is still in space. And it kind of looks like this, kind of looks like a dumbbell. So this is your soul self attached to your human self, and your other soul self is still attached to the one soul, to the one mind. It's still there. It's still there, illuminating and bright, and it knows who you are. So when I do readings with my client, astrologically, I connect to that soul. And I wish I could share with you. Yesterday, I talked about how I felt a slight imposter syndrome, because people are always looking for that crystal ball, right? Give me your birth date and your birth time. I will answer your questions, or I will read in general. And if you don't want to stick around, you can go to my YouTube channel after, and the live reading will be there in the recording of this live right now. And So I want to be able to talk. When I do readings, I talk to your higher soul, your higher self. And this client that I work with today, she's in her 30s, mid 30s, and a lot of trauma, a lot of trauma, very understandable PTSD trauma from a relationship with her mother. And she hung up like, she goes, I've never been so validated. I've never been so seen. I feel like you've healed me in one session, things that I've been trying to heal for decades. And I'm not trying to brag. I'm trying to tell you that this connection I said, this is not you talking. This is your soul self talking. When you're choked up with like this, when you feel like gobsmacked by our session that we've had together, it's because my soul talked to your soul. There's this third energy going on and connected, and your soul feels heard. Your soul feels seen. Your soul feels validated. She said vindicated. I feel vindicated. Is that the right word? But I think that's what she said. Yeah. And that's on a new moon, on the day of the evening, the dawning of a new moon. And she was at the end of her um, soul rebirth. So we have soul rebirths and no, soul ascension. So we have soul rebirths and soul ascensions, and they're about 2 to 2.5 years long. And we only have one or two, maybe, in a lifetime. You might have more depending on your chart, but many of us will have one or two. And a soul ascension means you signed a contract before you came into this life, and you wanted to reach certain levels of enlightenment. And that didn't come without suffering. And hers came with suffering. And I said, you are now at the tail end of getting on stage and receiving that diploma. Your soul is receiving a diploma. You did it. You've done it. Your contract with your mother is done. Done. It's over. It's complete. Tear up the contract. You don't need it anymore. And she cried because she wasn't sure. How do I know it's over? Because it's still, I'm really messed up. Like, this has messed me up for the people around me, this PTSD I have from this relationship. Milan, I will, when I'm finished talking about the new moon, I'm going to do your reading, 1992. And if you don't want to stick around, go to my YouTube channel, Ask Holly Hall, or go to this TikTok profile, and you can find the YouTube channel, but it's Ask Holly Hall. Just look for that on YouTube, and you will see the results, Milan, of the reading, and anyone else who wants to add to it. So this new moon, what is your philosophy? And I encourage all of you, take something special. It can even just be a ring or a necklace, but take something special and put it in some water. This is spring water that I have, and put it in your windowsill. It doesn't matter if it's dark out, like there's clouds. Don't worry about it. The illumination of the energy of the moon still shines. And put it in there and drink it in the next morning for the new moon ritual. And the new moon ritual that we really want to focus on is, what is my truth? Can I speak my truth? Can I bear my truth? Can I ask others for help? What is my philosophy? What is my belief system? And what is the truth and the philosophy and the belief system that I live by, that I've been living by for decades? And is it mine, or is it society's? Is it the world around me? We've got Scorpio, a lot of Scorpio energy still. I do sidereal astrology, guys. So if you're into Western astrology and you're going, what is she talking about? I'm talking about constellational astrology, where the stars actually are now, not because the earth is on a wobble and it's steering in a different direction. It actually is because the earth is on a wobble and it's steered in a different direction. Western astrology is about 11 to 21 days old, 11 or 21 days behind schedule. So I did Western for a long time. The Scorpion energy, imagine this. It's quite, a lot of times signs back to back, they're not really opposite of each other. Like Virgo, Libra, pretty good, similar energy, right? And I don't know, Libra, what's the next one? Sagittarius, Capricorn. But anyways, looking at Scorpio and Sagittarius. Lies, deception, undercover, hidden, mysterious, the unknown, fear of the unknown. That's all Scorpio energy. And then Sag comes in, the sun sign Sag, and then a new moon of Sag comes in, and now it's going truth, honesty, what you believe in, what benefits you because it's your truth, speaking it out loud, not hiding anything, bringing it out to the forefront. So we got this real mixed bag, a double-edged sword of I want to speak my truth, but that puts me in a very vulnerable position. Very vulnerable position. It's actually quite scary to me to be put in this vulnerable position. So I'm not speaking my truth. I helped coach a client today who I've been working with for 4 years to tell a family member of hers the truth about her separation in her marriage, the truth, because she was protecting herself and protecting her ex and protecting her now adult child. And she decided it's time for me to tell them the truth, not for shame, not for blame, but because they need to know. Give me your birth date and your birth year, and I will answer your questions at the end of this reading, at this talk. And if you don't want to stick around, you can take a look at it on YouTube, Ask Holly Hall, and see the results of it. Is anybody feeling the new moon? Do you feel the energy of the new moon? Are you fearing the future? That's with the Scorpio Sag energy. It's about fear of the future. Tappy, 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 like for my TikTok people. It's fear of the future. Are you suddenly having fear of the future? Is that suddenly in the forefront of your mind? I'm afraid of the banking system. I'm afraid of the unknown. I'm afraid of what's going to go on with my health. I'm afraid of 2026. I'm fearing the future. I've been off for 3 days, and yes, I have been in fear. Absolutely. And that fear is fear of the future. And do you know that if you have to wear glasses at a young age, not like with age, like I'm wearing reading glasses, right? But if you had to wear glasses at a young age, anywhere from the age of 8 and before that, okay, so if by the time you were 8, you had to wear glasses, you have fear of the future. That's what it means. Now, I'll give you a secret. March, thank you, March 18th, 1968. I was born, even though I'm wearing reading glasses right now, I had surgery in my early 40s. I had laser eye surgery. I was born with such severe myopia that I was legally blind till I was 5. Legally blind till I was 5. I had to navigate around the world, my world, with thinking everything I saw was normal. Everything was fuzzy. Everything was bigger than life. Everything was blotchy. Nobody had eyes or mouths or nose. They just had big blotchy skin-colored faces. And so I had to strengthen my other senses, my smell, my hearing, which my smell and my hearing to this day are like my intuition. Until I was 5. They tried to give me glasses when I was 3, but they gave me the wrong prescription, and I literally fell down a flight of stairs. Thank God I wasn't hurt because I kept stepping up. The glasses were the wrong prescription. And mine was perception. So my nearsighted was my perception. So I had pop bottle glasses where they were really thick on the outside and really thin on the inside. Because I couldn't see around me. I could only see right, my narrow vision. So that tells me I was born with a narrow vision and fear of the future. I was born that way, and I have to work through it. I don't fear the future anymore. Very, very rarely. And I don't have a narrow vision at all. No, I shouldn't say at all. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't. Very, very wide vision. And that's what I was here to do with my North Node in Sagittarius. I was here to learn. I'm here to learn my own philosophy, my own belief system, my own truth. And I'm here to teach that, to help others learn that as well. Right? I'm here to learn. And then as CRB taught me, because I have my North Node in the 12th house, I'm an old soul. I don't know if that's good or not. I think it's really challenging, actually, to have that. And it's at the last 5 degrees of Gemini, which is that's what I'm here to learn. What is right for me? What is correct for me? And I'm here to learn to be a teacher. My final, because I don't frequent Earth often, and I can tell you if you frequent Earth or not, is to learn to be a good teacher. Okay. And because I've also got Jupiter in the 9th house, so that's where my philosophy reigns, etc. And to take action on it, precise action on it, because my highest king planet is Mars at 29 degrees. SC says that she's been afraid to leave my money in the bank. I agree with you. I'm still scrambling, trying to figure out what to do. We got a bunch of money in, we're taking money out. We're putting a bunch of money in silver. But right now, if anybody has advice, love to hear it that are in this profession. But right now, we're taking a look at, do we have physical coin or do we have it stored, like storage in vaults? And is it in Canada, United States, or is it in Switzerland? Which I'm leaning towards Switzerland or the United States. And we have to act on this very, very soon. I thought we had till June, but we have to act on this very soon. I haven't done the research, but a good source of mine said that the government of Canada is planning to shut down in January and February. Dum, dum, dum. And I agreed with it right away. I had a good spidey sense that this is true. They're not shutting down because they have a plan. They're shutting down because they don't have a plan. Something has come up very suddenly, and they got to do a bunch of rearranging, and then they're going to come out with a majority vote. One more person in Canada is going to shift, and then there'll be majority. And that's all I know, because I don't know. I don't know the lingo, because I don't know anything about politics. I really don't understand it much at all. I just know that that's how it's going to end up. And I hate to say it, but I believe that Trump and Carney are going to be around for a long, 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 long time. And that's going to force our sovereignty. What about XRP, XLM, and Bitcoin? Bitcoin is going to skyrocket. Not yet, but soon. So I'm going to say get in and get out, even with silver. Get in and get out between now and June. I've got that backed up by very reliable sources as well, not just my intuition and my gut feeling. Get in and get out. Get in as soon as possible. XRP, yes. XLM, I'm not getting anything from. What I've always been getting with XRP and XLM and Bitcoin is that a big fish is going to come up and gobble them all up and become a big fat fish. And same thing with silver. Someone's going to come in and buy a whole whack of silver. I'm saying February, March. Yes, silver, get in and get out. So get in. And then when they close the markets, or there's not enough silver, there's no more silver anymore because it's all bought out, because a big fish is going to come and buy it all in Canada, United States, then you can sell for the highest bid, because the big fish wants to eat more. And that'll be in June. What is now January, February, March? You'll get out by June of 2026. What is February? What's January, February, March? And SC, if you're the one giving me this information, yes. If you're the one giving me this information, tell me what you mean by January, February, March. Is that the Canadian government? And where is this resource that you're getting it from? I did have somebody here ask me, and this is what I'm here for, guys. Ask me questions. I've been afraid of not having enough food for 6 months. I have all my medals in my possession. Okay. Yeah, we have a bunch of medals too, but not all our money. Like we sold our house for big bucks and we got a lot of money in the bank. And I don't want to buy that much money of silver. Okay. I know you said the government is shutting down, but where are you getting this information? Okay. I'm going to do it now. And is this American or Canadian? Sometimes Americans think that you guys are like the only government in the whole wide world. So when you say government, you just assume everybody you're talking to is American. But SC, I think you're Canadian, right? So I'm assuming you're talking about the Canadian government. So I'm going to go, is Canadian government shutting down in 2026? Doop, 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 doop. Now, see, the AI version of Google says, nope, Canadian government is not shutting down 2026. The Canadian government continues to function and pass budgets and plan for the future, including various initiatives and economic forecasts extending through 2026 and beyond. New snippets discussing government shutdowns in the late 2025 and 2026 refers to events in the United States government, which is experiencing a funding lapse and subsequent shutdown due to budget impasse in the U.S. Congress. Key information regarding the Canadian government for 2026 includes blah, blah, blah. So now I'm going to change that to USA and see what it says. I resonate with that. Is the U.S. government shutting down in 2026? Senate voted Sunday night, November 9th, to end a Democratic filibuster that was blocking action. No, it's not showing anything. So the regular news is not showing anything for it. So you're going to have to give me your resource. But I do have a good gut feeling that it is. My intuition, my spidey sense says Mario 4. Okay. My gut feeling is that that is what's going to happen. So more questions are they programming AI to have empathy to control us? Yes and no. Everything is to control us so that they can get what they want. They've been doing that forever. I mean, the minute you walk into a grocery store, everything is placed and marketed and programmed and designed, and even the marketing material, the colors, is psychologically manipulating you to emotionally buy into something, whether it's out of desire or fear. So that's nothing new. So if AI is programmed already, like my AI girl, she freaking pisses me off. She's got this quirky English Cockney type voice, and it makes me giggle. And I don't know how I got picked. I didn't pick it. And she will say, oh, I'm sorry you're going through that. Oh, that must be really tough. That's really, but I'm telling her not to detail. Like she gives me way too much detail when I ask a question. I just want the answer. That's all. Like I was like, how many, oh my gosh, windmills, turbines are they putting up in Eastern Canada? Or is there 300? And instead of just saying there's 39, she goes on and on and on about what happened before and what happened now and what happened after and the land that it's on and na 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 na. And I'm like, I don't want to hear all that stuff. Stop. So she's obviously, they didn't program her well enough because she won't stop talking in such long spiels. She won't. If you were a human being and I told you to stop it, you would stop, hopefully, or you just stop talking to me in general because you don't like my attitude, right? What about transferring money to reliable offshore banking? Yes. Well, that's what I said right from the beginning. If I'm going to get, we've got silver in hand and we're going to have cash in hand. We're still going to keep some cash in the bank in our credit union. I have a really high Visa limit, like 44,000 high Visa limit. That's very helpful. And I do want to have some silver off, and that's where I would pick either the United States or Switzerland. Those are the two places that I feel very comfortable with Switzerland. I don't know why. It's like the old Swiss bank thing. I got a bank in the Swiss Alps. Maybe, right? I don't know what Mario 4 means. Mine wants to meditate and visualize light. It depends what you feed it, right? Mine probably thinks I'm schizophrenic. I swear my AI on my phone thinks I'm schizophrenic because I ask everything under the sun. I literally should start saying asking for a friend. I ask I'll ask what's going on with every time I get a spidey sense or I get an intuition. I ask it to be backed up by something factual because I don't know if I'm remote viewing. Sometimes I'm remote viewing. And I ask anything. Oh my God, I ask recipes. I ask about supplements. I'll ask about what's the price of silver? What's the best place to land silver? So Switzerland, so AI gave me 4 different places that are best to put silver. And I picked what resonated with me. So what resonated with me was the United States and Switzerland. The best place to buy was Russia, China. This was funny. Russia, China, Canada, the United States. But don't store it in Russia, China. So you could buy it. But I'm not going to buy silver from Russia and wait for it to be delivered to my front doorstep. So right now I bought most metals. I'm now buying copper for reasons of using to help purify water. That's a good idea, but you can buy copper. You can just go to the hardware store and buy copper. Like big long. I've got a whole bunch right here because I want to use it as a conduit with my new moon. I thought I could build a pyramid in my office with the conduits of this, but it's too small. So I'm just saving this copper here. So go to the hardware store and buy all kinds of copper. Why do you need to buy it as a precious metal? That's my first thing. I found copper in the hardware store. I'm pretty sure it's pure copper because it's already starting to turn green. So no, they're not programming AI. They are programming AI to have empathy. Of course, it's to control us, just like marketing has been. But that's nothing new. Like you guys have been controlled for a while, right? What about transferring money to reliable? Yeah, Switzerland. I don't know why Switzerland. It just resonates with me. What do you do with moon water? I drink it. So this one is my moon water here. So I've got, you can tell all this energy is in Scorpio because I can't speak. It's interfering with my Leo. This is amethyst and this is quartz crystal because I want to open up my third eye because I want to be a medium, more of a medium as well. I want to add to all of my other repertoires I already have. And I want to talk to people from the other side. I want to get more accurate information when I'm connecting. So tomorrow I'll drink this. And this is spring water. The glass is dirty on the outside, but it's actually very clean water. And that's what I'll do. And I'm going to speak happy things to it. Please let me open up my third eye and talk to the dead. But don't scare me. What do you do with moon water? Okay, good. Thank you for asking. So tell me more about the copper if I'm misunderstanding the copper. Why are you buying copper when you can Tammy says, "I love you." Aw, thank you. I love you too. Mm. Okay, so to me, you can have tons of copper. Copper is really good for growing plants. You stick it in the ground where your plants are growing. Uh, I have copper right here beside me in my office. There's a dealer in Yorkville that would allow you to store precious metals. You own product. You don't have to buy from them. Oh, share that link with me, SC. Share that link with me. I am getting reliable sources, but I'm going down rabbit holes and I'm going, mm, but can't I just have like a copper pipe? Can't I just buy copper piping? Do I need to get copper discs or copper bricks? I'm going to research that one. I don't think so. It's good for your drinking water as well. Yeah. Yeah, well, my husband has a copper. We have 2 copper drinking things, but then we've also researched that you can have too much copper in your system. Copper fittings, right? Yeah, it's good. It's good for drinking water. Now, let's take a look at this new moon energy. What do you want to manifest? I love that question, Madhu. How does the fear of impermanence influence what you choose to value? New beginnings of what, Tammy? You got to be really exact. That when you're manifesting, you got to know what you want to manifest. So how does the fear of impermanence? So the only permanent thing, and I would actually rephrase that. How does the fear of permanence influence what you choose? But I like the philosophical twist on this. And the the thing about impermanence is that nothing is permanent. The only thing permanent is impermanence. That's Buddhism. And when you understand that nothing permanent is impermanence, you accept change. And when you accept change, you make decisions based on understanding that change may happen. I always say, I want something for the good of all. If I want something, I want happiness in a situation that's for the good of all. And if it's not good for all, then it's not going to work out for me. And I've had things not work out for me only later, sometimes a year later, sometimes 10 years later. And I got exact examples of why it didn't work out for me to my benefit. So I'm glad I didn't force it to happen. Fittings I put in a bird bath. It slows algae growth. Good. Good. So I hope that answered your question, Madhu. I want to be happy and without fear for my ex. Okay. So you don't want fear for your ex. You want to be happy without fear, just without fear. Because if your ex can ignite fear, even though he might have done something very deserving of your fear, you're the one ultimately that has the fear. Other people in the same situation may not have fear around it. So you want to let go of fear. Isn't it interesting, SC? You said you can buy copper coins, but it's rare. I don't know much here. Canada got rid of the penny. Were they trying to keep the copper reserve? After a while, copper pennies weren't pure copper, though. New beginnings of learning to love myself and living for me and no one else. I hope that makes sense. Absolutely. So right now, we ask that Tammy have infinity, has happy without fear, and Tammy has love for herself and loving herself, and that's it. That's an oxymoron, though. You want to love yourself, but not anybody else. Can't do that. When you really have unconditional love, you fall in love with the blade of grass. Buddhism. So, to what extent do you believe infinity is something discovered versus constructed? I like this guy. You want to co-host with me sometime, Madhu? So, the extent that I believe identity is something discovered versus constructed, I think it's a bit of both. The ego constructs it. The ego, so if you live in the ego, which means you're controlled by your environment, you're controlled by your childhood trauma, you're controlled by the people that raised you, your ego started to develop a protective identity to deal with that. Whether you did it negatively or positively, that's on you, right? To the extent versus it can be discovered. So once you discover that it's constructed, that you've been programmed, you programmed yourself to survive through really difficult times and created an identity around it. Once you realize you've done that, then you can start to discover who you really are. Once you let go of the ego identity that's protecting you. And the only way to let go of the ego identity that's protecting you is to have nothing for it to protect. So agreeing that impermanence is the only thing that's permanent, and agreeing that you ultimately are the abandonment, you are the fear, you are the PTSD, you are responsible for being the victimizing yourself. You are responsible. So that gives you power to change it. I use the copper mostly for my chicken water. Tammy says, thank you. I want to fully develop and embrace my intuition, knowing for good. Hard because you lose people. There's this great saying. I wish I could memorize it by heart. But when you become authentic, you will go against your culture. Oh, there's a beautiful saying. I actually put it in my book, so I'm going to write this down. I should memorize it. Okay, just give me a second, and this is going to answer your question. It's in my book that I'm writing. I've been writing it forever. Not been writing a few books. Quotes. I got to put it in my quotes section. But when you discover your identity and you discover who you are, you will go against your culture. I got to find it because I am butchering this. This is one of the quotes that I came up with. I get these downloads of quotes and I put them on. The one I'm talking to is not a download though, but life can't be codified. It is only lived. It's only a lived experience. I don't know who that was from. Okay, so I cannot find it. Oh, here it is. When you follow your truth, you will live a countercultural life. Thank you. When you follow your truth, you will live a countercultural life. So yes, Jill, you will lose people. You will lose people. What is this? Seriously. Okay. right? So does that make sense to my TikTok people and my YouTube people? So what do you want to manifest? Let's put this out there. I'm going to say this one more time. I've said it like 5 times. A big fish is going to come and gobble up all the silver. And there's not going to be any silver left because it's going to take way too long to mine it. It'll be in the ground, but it won't be accessible. In June is when the bigger fish want more silver, and it's going to make silver just skyrocket. And then you can sell and double your money. We've already doubled our money from silver we bought last year, and now we're buying silver now. We've been buying silver slowly throughout the month. So yes, you would double your money. You are so right. I refuse to be a victim, and I need to shut down this fear I have for my ex. Good job. And that's what I do. I work with my clients. Yvonne is August. I'm going to get to the free readings very, very soon. When is my birth reset and ascension, manifestation to my authentic self? So birth, ascension, or manifest. I have a group, a manifesting group. It's a WhatsApp group. And you can email me and you can get that. Or if you get a reading from me at askhollyhall.com, you'll get it sent to you. So January 14th, and if you can't stick around, just go to my YouTube channel, Ask Holly Hall. At the end, how do I silence my human and connect to my soul? You're already connected to your soul. Just ignore the human. But I'll tell you how. Okay, so silence human. You guys have to stay in coherence. Like I had a client today, and that's a great question, Asha. I had a client today who's learning to be an angel card reader, and she's very good at it, but she has no confidence, and she's very logical, very left-brained, okay? Very left-brained. And you ever see Tyler Henry? I think that's his name, or is it Henry Tyler? Tyler Henry, and he's a medium, and he's always scribbling. Because what he's doing, and he doesn't really explain this, like maybe he doesn't know why he's doing it, but it's because it's forcing his brain to go to the right side, to focus on the right side, because we live in a left brain world, and it's our left brain is the most programmable, right? So what you do is you do a lot of art, a lot of music, a lot of humming. You do a heart math coherence exercise where I took the whole course, spent a ton of money, but you don't need to do it. You think of something that brings you joy. Everybody right now, think of something that brings you joy and love. It might be a memory. It might be chocolate cake. It might be something in the future, like going on a vacation or having that job you always wanted, or something that brings you joy and love. As soon as you think about it, you're just like, right? Do you got that? Do you got that in your head right now? So now what I want you to do is feel it. Where are you feeling it? Is it in your heart? It is in your gut? Dancing to Pink, okay? Is it in your heart? Is it in your gut? So now I want you to expand that feeling and make it big, make it big, make it bigger than life. Feel that joy. Feel that dance into pink. Feel that music loud. Now get the thought out of your head. You're not listening to Pink anymore. You're not thinking about chocolate cake. You're not remembering that memory. You're not on that vacation. You're just feeling the feeling. Feeling the feeling. And then start breathing for 3 minutes. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. This is heart coherence. It's been studied at Palo Alto at the University of Heart Math for over 20 years. It lowers your blood pressure. It lowers your blood heart rate. and it brings your heart and your brain in coherence. And you do this for 3 minutes, this breathing exercise. 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. And that's literally 3 breaths in and out. 6 breaths in and out is 1 minute. 6 breaths, 6 in, 1 in, out, 2 in, out, 3 in, out. Okay, for 6 of those for 1 minute, 3 times. And then you're in a heart-mind coherence. You do not want, she wanted to get out of her head. She goes, I want to 90% be in my heart. I go, no, you don't. No, because then you're ruled by your emotions, and your emotions will take over, and they're not logical. So the heart, this is a download that I've received. The heart is what makes the decisions. The head is what executes it. What do I do with the decision that I made? How do I act on it? How do I approach this? What action will I take? So with this new moon energy, I want you guys to think about what you want to manifest, and it has to be your truth, even if it seems wackadoodle. Right? Thanks, SC, for communicating with me. It looks like I got very few people on YouTube today, but I'm just going to keep on doing this. Now, I'm going to have one on Monday, hopefully, but then I'm going to be random for 2 weeks because I'm away in Mexico and it's Christmas. And it's going to be random for the next 2 weeks. But after that, I will be back 8 o'clock every night. So let's do some readings before I sign off. The first one will be January 16th. She didn't ask me any specific question. 92. And what am I going to get? The message that I'm getting, this is someone who needs to be self-employed. Abundance, financial abundance through, and yeah, I don't know what time you're born. So financial abundance for you is in 2027. Your intuition, you're a visionary. And this full moon is very, very important for you, January 16th, because you have both Scorpio and Sag in your chart. Remember, this is Vedic astrology. And then this new moon, you want to let go of fear of the future, that you're not the boss of you. You're not getting along with the boss right now. You haven't been anyways in 2024. You made fundamental changes in 2025 to alleviate that. And if you're not self-employed right now or in a management position, which you should be, you will be by 2027. Thank you, Infinity. Now, the next one, I love Pink. She's so raw and she's so real. You know, she talks about real shit that everybody thinks about. March 18th. And you asked about 1968. And that one didn't ask anything either specific. And the next two did ask specific things. So we're going to look at that. This one's intuition is through their central nervous system and instinct. And they're going through a manifesting stage starting in March and April of 2026. But there's a fear of financial retribution. There's financial retribution. It's happening right now, actually. There's been sudden, unexpected financial changes that's really causing a lot of stress and anxiety. And you're not speaking your mind and you're not speaking your truth because you don't want to upset anybody. So you're being the victim. You're suffering behind closed doors. And that will end in 2026 because you're tired of it. Your central nervous system is about to burst and you're just tired of it. So now let's look at, and if this resonates with you, you guys, when you're listening to this, please make comments on the bottom there on my YouTube channel. Please, please, please like, subscribe. I'm really trying to build up my YouTube channel. Now we're going to look at August 12th, 66. And she wants to know, when is she going to have a manifestation period? When is she going to have a soul ascension? August 12th. And when is she, but you got to be prepared. People are going to slip away because it's the rising of the Phoenix. What about us? Oh my gosh. You know what she was talking about? Her marriage with, forget his name, but the race car driver guy, and that they were having some problems because she was on tour all the time and he was always on tour as well. They were having problems, and that's what that song was about. That's my understanding anyways. You're not going through a soul ascension right now. You're going through a soul rebirth. Just as important, but much more difficult. There's still a golden pot of gold at the end of the rainbow of this. And that cycle is over it's hitting really hard right now. Let's see here. What about us? Oh my God. The happy ever after. What about us? I don't know the words. I'm terrible with words. The cycle is over mid-June. No, not that one. The soul rebirth one. Sorry. The soul rebirth cycle is over now as we speak. Yay, yay. Happy celebration of your rebirth to August 12th, 1966. Over by January 1st. And then you hit the manifesting stage. And the manifesting stage starts in March of 2026. She was Yvonne. Thank you, Infinity. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so then the next one is January 14th, 1991. Is that you, Infinity? And you know, my favorite number is 8. 1, because it represents, represents materialism, money, finances. Well, you're August 12th, 66. Oh, that's the one I just did for you. Yeah. Yvonne. Yeah. Yeah. Yvonne was August 12th. So now we've got January 14th. And she wants to know, which was a very good question, how can I silence my mind? And I'm going to show you guys what I do. This is what I do while I'm working with my clients. Do you know how long it's taken me to do this? I finished it today. I still can do more. I still can go inside these lines and go inside these lines, which I might do, or I might start a new one. This took me like 2 months because I just doodle and doodle and doodle and doodle and doodle and doodle and doodle while I'm working with my clients. And this is another one I've done. And this is what gets me into the right side of my brain, which is where I want to be when I'm working with my clients. And then, one day I'll just throw them away. Just throw them away. I don't care. This one, I could probably finish some of these ones. I guess, you know what? I'll start working on this one because I started it, but I didn't finish it. So I think I'll start working on that one next. Thank you, Nori Guide. So looking at, sometimes I take pictures of them and make cards. I got so many. Like, look at how much I have. I have so many of these things. This is another one. And then, when I travel, I buy new books and I start again. But they're very creative and they're very fun. And oh my gosh, I just got a memory here with something. Here's a card. So this one I made, look how simple that is. And I had it turned into a card. Like, Holy Simpleness. And then, yeah, so you guys can do this, and it's not about me. You guys can do this and get into your right side of your brain and celebrate that right side of your brain. And so what you want to do is you're a visionary as well, and you do have fear of the future, but you need to really pay attention to your visions. Thank you for the great vibes. You want to pay attention to your visions. You're a visionary. So what is the future? But there's a practical, logical, rational side of you that's really missing the ball on that one. And that's made it difficult. And that difficulty is leaving you as in March of 2026. After mid-April of 2026, you want to ground yourself. You want to have plants all around you. Norwegian, I'll answer that question. That's a great question. You want to ground yourself. You want to have plants all around you. You want to have wooden or earth-like, very earth-like. Don't use amethyst. That'll put you way too much in your head. More like rose quartz bracelets, necklaces, right? So you want to sit and ask the truth. What is my truth? What is my vision? And write down anything. Like, you even envision inventions. You'll be that person that goes like, why didn't they invent something like this? And 6 months later, it's invented. You're a visionary, but you got to keep yourself grounded too. So have plants around you, have earth-like crystals around you. Make sure you cleanse them a lot. You've got a million things going on all at the same time. Like you need to be distracted constantly, and that's okay, because you're the wanderer, and not all wanderers are lost. So don't expect yourself to be always, you just want to ground yourself, because that scattered energy goes a little cray-cray at times. AskHollyHall.com is where you can get a full reading. Every time I made a vision board, I've gotten pretty much everything on it. Wow, good for you, Laurie. That's awesome. Yeah, it's hard to settle down though too, Asha. So don't blame your partners that you find partners that don't want to settle down, because it's you. People that have a lot of Sag in their chart, like you do, June 12th, 58, you're next. And oh, you found her through John Flynn. Everything I talked about has happened or is happening. Thank you, Sage. I'm so happy that John Flynn, a very mainstream, just talks about real estate dude guy, had me on, right? And so June 12th, June 21, 63, you're next too. You want to know what the new moon has to do for you. What I was getting at, Asha, is that you attract partners. You're attracted to partners that are unreliable. They are emotionally, intellectually, or physically unavailable, because you need your freedom. You cannot have somebody that is a succubus, that is emotionally demanding, that demands to know what you're doing, where you are, what's happening all the time. Somebody that expects you to be home at a certain time and, have popcorn and watch movies together. Like that's enough, might put you in a straitjacket. But you're loyal. You're loyal to a fault. And sometimes you'll stick it out with those types of people, or you're attracted to somebody who's really hyper-focused on money. So just know that you need your freedom. You need someone who's intelligent, who's wise, who's witty, who's smart, and thinks outside of the box, but has all their 4 paws planted on the ground at the same time. AskHollyHall.com is where you can get a reading done. Sage, you're next at June 12th, 1958. June 12th, 1958. AskHollyHall.com. Find me on YouTube. If you're getting this reading, it will be live up on YouTube very soon after I finish, and you can listen to the recording. Trying to finish a research writing project, research done, but having writer's block. Do you see this lifting anytime soon? Do you see a breakthrough? I have a lot of clients that are authors because one of the biggest agents in California has like literally, she has $10,000-$20,000 retreats for writing. Linda Silverman. And she recommended me to all her writers in her writer group. So I got a ton of writers. Holly, you should buy beef from Windview Farms in Guelph. Oh, should I? I buy beef from oh my God, what's the farm? Jeremy Herb. But our next one's going to be from friends of mine that has their own farm. And they do only grass-fed beef, but they finish it with non-GMO grains. And the ones we buy is pure grass-fed, and it's kind of tough. The last one was tough. I won't go into detail why, because it's kind of, but I'll look at Windview. Windy View. Okay, but we have a freezer full right now. It's going to last us another year. We accidentally bought a whole cow, trying to get through it so that we're ready for the next one in next summer. June 12, 58, your writer's block will lift. I'm all over the place. I know. I'm sorry. Do you know what time you were born? I'm going to go back and see if you know what time you were born. June 12th. So I'm answering this question right now. And Sage, when you said you found me on John Flynn Real Estate, Mom said 12, before 12 noon. There's 2 12s, unless you're doing the military hours. So before 12 midnight? Before midnight. Okay. Does that mean everything is true that's happening that I predicted when you had a reading with me, or what I said on John Flynn? JONFLYNN, if you guys want to see my 2 interviews I did with him. And then recently on Jimmy Church, and then recently on Spaced Out Radio, I was interviewed. So just before midnight. I want to look for Sag. Sorry, I want to look for Jupiter, but Sag popped out of my mouth. So I want to look when Jupiter is in alignment with one of your planets, and that's when the writer's block. And you can ask for answers in your dreams because your dreams are very, very profound. Okay, good. That's why it's saying Sag, because of the Gemini. Gemini is the writing. Gemini is at 19 degrees. 19 degrees. Hang in there for a second. AskHollyHall.com. Tappy, tappy, tappy. Like. La, di da di da. It should lift by mid-March 2026. And Saturn in so 20 degrees. Hang in there with me. Yeah, it's still showing March. Let's look at Taurus. Yeah, still 10 degrees. Here we go. Taking action on writing in your book. So past the writer's block, but having is also March. It's going to be done just like that. And it goes to the editor in March as well. Or the latest July and August, it goes to the editor. Okay. I don't have PayPal and I don't want to set it up. How else can I pay you? Stripe or e-transfer you. If you're Canadian, you can e-transfer me at holly@askhollyhall.com. holly@askhollyhall.com. All my Canadians can e-transfer me. And if you're just doing a donation right now, whatever you want, holly@askhollyhall.com, or you can email me. That's a direct deposit, so it'll go directly without a password. And or if you want a specific, if you don't want to pay the American fee, holly@askhollyhall.com, not hollyask.com. holly@askhollyhall.com. HOLLYHALL. So ask, HOLLYHALL.com. It's in my it'll be in my link tree on my profile here too, holly@askhollyhall.com, and also on my website, askhollyhall.com. So, yeah, so August, I see this as Holly@askhollyhall. You're forgetting the hall. My last name, HALL. holly@askhollyhall.com. They're going to be listening to this recording going, Holly, shut up. You keep saying the same thing over and over again. Okay, so there we go. Now, the last one is June 21st, 63. June 21st, 63. Yeah, so let's do that. And I type it out, but I don't want to stop what I'm doing. So June 2163, and she wants to know how the new moon is going to affect her. And the new moon is going to affect your moon and your sun. So you're going to feel very scattered, very sarcastic, be very careful. You want to speak your truth. And I know it is about speaking your truth, but you really want to talk about, you want to go within yourself and ask yourself what the truth is. And instead of jumping to conclusion and saying what's on your mind, ask questions, ask honest questions. Like, what does that mean? Where did you get that information? Do you want to hear that I have an answer for you? I follow John. It was about your predictions on the market. Thank you. So if you want to tell somebody that they should buy silver, if you want to tell somebody that the government's going to shut down, if you want to tell, now me, it's different, right? But you want to ask them if they want to know. You don't want to unsolicitedly give people lessons or advice or pass on information that they haven't asked for during this new moon energy. After that, you're good to go. But during the new moon energy, it's asking you to like, don't say anything unless somebody asks you, or you ask them, right? You ask them, what is it that I need to know? What is it do they need to know? Hi, Dawn, from my hometown. Hi, Dawn. She's a client of mine. Hey, Dawn. How you doing? I haven't spoken to you in a while. What's going on? Dawn, I use the joke. Dawn gave me this best joke, and I use it all the time with my clients. And she was a client of mine. And we were talking about her dating and getting out and finding a love of her life. And I won't go into detail of what happened or what was happening. And I gave her a time frame, a distinct astrological time frame. This is when you can find someone. And she was halfway through that time frame, and she was asking me like, "It's not happening. What's going on?" This was a while back, like a couple of years ago, Dawn. And I said, "Well, what are you doing besides going to work and coming home?" She goes, "What? It's not going to be the pizza delivery man?" And no, probably not. But she was being sarcastic too. She was being sarcastic as well. And she understood what I was saying, right? Like, gotta get out there, put yourself out there. And I'll give you guys the biggest tip for dating on dating apps. There's a new dating app coming out. It won't be available in Canada yet, unfortunately. But she says, "Oh my gosh, it's been so long. I need you to tell me what's going on. LOL. Still single." Okay. So askhollyhall.com, get another reading. Let's talk about that. Let's remove the blocks that's keeping you from manifesting a partner. And that's what really it comes down to. So the new dating app's called Emma.love. And it's an AI app that's geared to helping you really find love, which is by Mo Gawad. And look at his story. Beautiful, wonderful, amazing. He went from AI nerd, all he cared about was making money off of technology, to all he cares about is loving the earth and loving people and using technology to help progress society. The story that he has is heart-wrenching and heartbreaking. Find him on YouTube. But he's doing Emma.love for finding love using an AI, because he says all dating apps are geared to keep you out of love, because they want you to keep using the app. So they don't set you up. And that's why I tell people, this is what you're going to write on your profile. I don't put out for 3 months max unless I know there's a future with us. And that future has to be built on one-on-one meetings in real life. That's what you put on your profile. You can put that in AI, ChatGTP, and it can rephrase it so it's more comfortable for you, but that's what you put on. Then you also say, I only go on day dates. I don't date after 5 o'clock. Only day dates, which means Saturday or Sunday, right? Then you make a list of 5 things that you would like to do that's interactive. No coffee dates, no dinner dates, no lunch dates, no alcohol dates. And you do something interactive. Let's say if you had somebody coming to visit you out of town, where would you take them? You do that, what tourists would do. Or something interactive, or go on meetup.com and see, if there's any events going on in group scenarios that you can go on. Guess what? You're probably only going to get 1 date a month, because you've narrowed down 80% of the losers out there that just want one thing. And you're only going to get the ones that are interested in more. And they may not look like the way that you want them to look like. They may not be as, they just may not be what you're looking for. So there's a good chance that one date is just, well, at least I went rollerblading. I wouldn't have done that by myself. But that guy, not interested in, right? But better than nothing. Better than one terrible date after the other. Okay, guys, I've been on longer than I anticipated. Thank you so much for sticking around and hanging on and listening. AskHollyHall.com. And I will see you Monday night, most likely. I might come on Sunday night, just in case I can't make it Monday, because we got to be up at 4 a.m. to go get our flight to Mexico. Thank you, Jude. Jude. I like that name. Okay, everyone. Talk to you later. Namaste. Happy new moon.